Hey, hope you've been well. This episode is so good that we had to make it a two-part series. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready to be inspired in such a transformational way. Let me tell you, we did not hold back on this conversation. If you're ready to deepen your faith, if you're ready to embrace your multiple callings on your life, then this conversation is for you. Welcome to Musings of a Geriatric Mama, where we discuss all things millennial and motherhood. This is not your average show where we romanticize being a mom, but rather a place where we keep it real while guiding you through restorative living and wellness, mind, body, and soul. Here you'll find impactful insights from high-achieving moms and mother figures, navigating life through this exhausting yet simultaneously rewarding journey. You may laugh or cry, and even possibly pee yourself. So do a Kegel or two and hold on to your seat. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but it doesn't have to be a lonely one. I'm your host, Kedna Amey, and thank you for meeting me here. We're continuing from where we left off. Here's part 2.
Where's the people that can speak to me like that? Because I've gone to the entrepreneur conferences that they have here, and I can't relate. I can't, because my business is not designed to be solely profit, the main purpose. And so who am I talking to that can give me advice to navigate this kingdom style business? Like, where are my kingdom entrepreneurs? Right. And so bringing this space is also for people in that field, or people who are in a corporate space like me. I'm still at a firm. And so how do I honor God and show up in that way? And so, but at the same time, I'm also, where is the space for the girl who just likes a good old time, or who likes to feel beautiful and likes wellness? So I think we combine all those things in a weekend that feels like a warm hug, because more than anything, I think sometimes like that's all people need. Like I just need to be held and to know that I'm not going through this alone. And so when God gave me this vision and this idea, particularly with Envision Me, it wasn't an idea that I felt like he gave as clear and audible as the other things that he gave me. This one I feel like I was kind of pushed into, in a sense, because we hosted an event with Girl Power Rocks 3 years ago now, and it was a huge success at their community center. And the CEO comes to me at the end of it, and this was back in like November of 2023. And so she's like, "This was amazing. We're doing it again in January. Like, this was great." And so I'm like, January? Okay, it's November. You want me to now do another event in January? Holidays? I'm confused how I'm going to pull this off. So we hosted, and I was like, so what do I do in January? And my mind started turning of like, all right, so what are people into in January? And that's how Envision Me was birthed. From a push of God, of like, somebody else believing in me and was like, this first ramen event was so good, let's do it again. And so in January of 2024, we had our first event, and then scaled and jumped to do a conference at a hotel in 2025. And now 2026, we're moving to the Hilton. And through those experiences, people look at Raw Made and Envision Me and think that we've been around for years. Because of the production, how well it looks. But I say often, like, this is how you know God's hand is on it. How quickly he has now propelled us lets you know that we're not dealing with natural, we're dealing with supernatural. And I even have to remind myself of that, because in full transparency and honesty, Envision Me is largely self-funded.
Yeah.
And it is something that weighs on me very heavily. I think God is also still use it to teach me things even about myself in areas where I need to grow more. And I think finances is one of those areas where I still can have this scarcity mindset, this feeling of like, it's not going to be enough, or something's go away.
Yeah.
And so I think that he is also using this to push me out my comfort zone, to make me completely rely on him, to give even when I don't think that I am capable of giving. I got a $21,000 bill, right? This is just one bill that came in right after I came back from vacation. And I saw it, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, God, what is happening here? And what am I supposed to do? And mind you, a couple of weeks ago, prior to that, God told me, like, I want you to gift tickets to women who lost their jobs. I want you to have those women come to Envision Me. And he gave me that word. You're gonna give this even when you are so scared of the finances. You're gonna give this even when it doesn't make sense. You're facing a bill right now, but you're giving away something for free. Like, make it make sense. And so I
Right.
think that even that alone, as much as Envision Me is helpful to the women that we do it for, it is even something that God uses to build my character, to build my faith. And I think that's what even our businesses do. Like, yes, it's for other people, but our businesses are also designed to strengthen us. And so that's why I love Envision Me. That's why I love Raw Made, because what God does through it is really, really life changing, transformational, 100%.
So, Chanae, thank you first for your vulnerability because I think as we traverse through motherhood, through life, through our different stages, we feel alone. And in pursuing something that other people may not see, it can be very isolating because we feel like, are we crazy for believing in a thing that other people may not understand its purpose? People may not understand, like, why. Earlier this year, I had to tell a loved one, I said, God gave me the vision. I understand he didn't give it to you. I just need you to back me up. I just need you to be like this much in Delulu with me, you know? But the truth is we face these extraordinary visions alone at times, or it seems that way. So when you're able to open up, you're reassuring and reaffirming in us that what God has placed in us, it's not really just for us, it's for his glory. So if we're able to overcome the adversities that we face in business, in life, entrepreneurship is a challenge. But entrepreneurship has built in me a level of my faith that I don't think any other journey besides motherhood
Amen.
would have been able to build. Motherhood first would have been able to fortify my faith that much. Like, because when it is easier, way easier to just say, no, okay, this is just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Let's wrap it up, pack it up. But like, what if we could really see what God already sees as done? No, come on now. I'm going to go there.
Oh Lord,
Like,
what
if, I said this earlier this year and it stuck with me, but like, what if you actually got through it and you already see what God has already called done? Because he is the creator of time. He's not bound by time. We created that construct of time, where it has to be done X, Y, and Z, but like God already sees it as done. Like, what if we were able to persevere, push through, and see it as God sees it, which is done?
Yeah.
Like, how freeing is that to live in this level of faith, or Delulu as people call it, to just see these impossible things as done, and that's the thing about life being a journey and faith being a journey. And these are the times that build the tenacity, that build the boldness to believe in a bigger picture than what our current circumstances may even look like. For audience members that may be local in Miami, and maybe even questioning like, oh, but I need to start my year off a certain way. Let me co-sign and say, Envision Me is one amazing way to start the year. I was in the room. I had the privilege to be in the room. There were no dry eyes. The Spirit of God was there literally. We had a church mother pray over us. Okay. Everything was so intentionally thought out. Chanae, I'm going to give you your flowers right now. Everything was so intentionally thought out. The room was prepared in such a way that that it was just such an elevated experience. And we're not just talking about aesthetics. We're talking about hitting those mind, body, and soul transformational points that help you propel your year forward. We may just be too afraid to walk into the room. Find the room, understand that this particular room, you belong there. And if you are in a seat, your purpose is going to be reinforced in that room.
Amen.
It's just worth it. It's just worth it. And what I realize as we elevate, we understand that there's seasons and investments that we have to make, but what is ahead of us? Like the word says, your ladder shall be greater. And we're so stuck in what we can see in front of us that sometimes we don't always, understand that your ladder is greater. Some of us may be single moms. Some of us may be, mothering children that have developmental challenges, or children that are chronically ill, or we're in the sandwich generation where we've either already lost parents or are dealing with sick parents. Like it's hard for us out here being a millennial, being in this generation of trying to build legacy while overcoming generational obstacles that have held our people back for years. And we're trying to carry the torch that sets people free. And bearing that charge is not easy. Mm-mm. So being in community and creating spaces for women to be seen and heard, it's just a beautiful thing. And your ladder shall be greater. That's all I have to say. I mean, I don't honestly.
And I think that I felt safe with you. I feel safe with you often, like when we talk.
Yeah.
And I feel like the viewership that you have established by nature of my comfort with you is because I don't think I've ever get this vulnerable in my conversations on podcasts, especially surrounding finances, because I think that I never want to be the person like that. Like there's sometimes I see business owners kind of fuss out their customers about them not supporting or them not doing this.
Sure.
I never want to be that person either. Sometimes people think that they see me and they see me in a certain light, which yes, I embody that, but I need you to also see the areas where God is still dealing with me, because I think it's important that we share certain things so that we can help each other. And because it's easier for me to know that, somebody else, deals with this too, or I can identify it's not just me, it's relatability, So entrepreneurship, while this is a newer space for me, I think that I'm glad to share what God has been teaching me in this area. Yes. And I feel like Envision Me is definitely one of the areas that He is still working on me to be able to walk in a different level, like you said, different level of faith. Because the level of faith that it requires to put on production that we put on, people just have no idea. Like I'm like, I say it often, it may look easy. It may look like I do this in my sleep, but it takes a lot of effort. And I think that I'm always so appreciative of these opportunities of women like you who see the vision, who see that, this is a fellow kingdom builder, because that's what we do. Like we're building God's kingdom. We're assisting Him. We're preparing the way for when He returns, right? And so all these efforts that we're doing that in our individual capacities, but yet collective, because what you are doing for the kingdom, what I'm doing for the kingdom is collectively God's vision. And I think sometimes we forget that, is that it seems so individualized.
Yeah.
This plan that God has for my life and this plan that God has for your life and every other person that He's using, it all is working for His one big major good, right? And so knowing that He is using His kids, His kingdom kids, to bring about His glory makes me so happy, knowing that He will give you help along the way. You were a huge help. You coming in and doing the portraits for us added such a higher level of experience for our guests, right?
Mm.
And so that's being a part of Envision Me, being part of the services that we are providing to our guests and the guest experience,
Right.
such an important part because that's what gets people to go and tell a friend, or to be excited about coming back. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I Envision Me, I was able to, work with Kedna itself. Like those are moments. So I
Yeah.
felt being a part of that and having women, God places women in your life intentionally. And even how we initially met
Yeah.
again,
I
apparently.
know.
Like it just like God just was so intentional. Like not only do I want you to remind you, like you guys are familiar with each other because of your children, but
Yes.
on top of that, like I want to put you at this event, and then only you didn't even know you're gonna park next to each other too, and you're gonna walk
I
in.
know. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, so God still, that for me, like, I don't believe in coincidences. God was like, you're working together, you're doing this together, and that's why I'm so happy to support you in whatever way you want me to support you, right? You send an email about a podcast? Yes, girl, I'm there. What are we going to do it? So I just think that God makes a way, even in, He gives you people. He
Yeah.
gives you encouragement along the way. He gives you help along the way.
Yeah.
And sometimes I want that help to come in the form of sponsorships. And I
Sure.
want that help to come in the form of, the big deal that makes
Yeah.
my life easier, or the big,
Mm.
the financial increase so I can hire more people to help me.
Yeah.
That's another struggle of mine that I have. Like, I think that all these things that I wanted to come in a certain way, God's like, I'm not giving it to you in that way. I'm giving it to you in this way. And I'm gonna make a way like this. And
Mm.
maybe this year you can't have glitz, the glam, you're still bootstrapping. So be
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I think even that, even recognizing that in his time,
Yeah.
it will happen, right? It will happen how he wants it to happen. But
Yeah.
it's a matter of how faithful are you in that interim. And I think
Right.
that's what he's dealing on me with me on, is that interim. And so at the top of the year, we're about to start a detox, a cleanse. And if folks want to join, I'm happy to invite your community to touch and agree with us, and just, even if it's not a matter of, like, some people can't do the full detox. It is sometimes like, I be having to think like, Chanae, you are who you are, but you telling other people to give up meat and stuff, maybe they can't, So, but we do our detox for about at the top of the year, and we just really connect with God. We have a evening prayer call that we coordinate during that time period, but it's all a point to just recenter, refocus as we prepare for Envision Me. So when we walk into Envision Me, we're able to where our posture is much
Mm.
different. We've already prepared our souls to
Mm.
be in a place of receiving what God has for us at that event. Definitely will send you over that information in your folks, because I think it's some powerful when God's people come together for one purpose, one significant, unified reason to seek Him.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I know we can talk for like 18 million, bajillion hours
Right.
because I am you, you are me, we are she, okay? And the truth is, in saying that, is that there is a community of women that are purpose driven and that have a desire to make transformation, not just for themselves, but for one another,
Right.
because we are a part of the kingdom, because there is a greater good. And because God deserves the glory. It just is what it is. Thank you for partnership. Thank you that we both were obedient
Yeah.
to like hearing like the things and just being unafraid to talk about what God placed on our hearts, and just being in alignment. This platform is a safe space. This platform is designed for women to feel seen, heard, and encouraged. And you're doing the same thing, and you have done the same thing. And I'm just really excited, to say the least. Really excited. And we're going to have an opportunity for our listeners to connect with you directly so you'll be able to give all the handles, websites, links, all the things. One of the things that I love about this podcast and just our generation in general is just how multifaceted we are. You know, we can go hard for God, we can knuck if you buck,
That's
we can be intellectuals and creatives. And we've come to a segment where I like to call our millennial nostalgia moment. It's a little lighthearted, a little bit fun, just to talk about what your favorite millennial memory is. And then we'll segue to giving yourself flowers.
my favorite millennial. You know what? I kind of miss the MySpace days. Like, I've missed the days on social media where it wasn't as curated.
Sure.
Like there's some moments where I feel like a little pressure
Yeah.
to kind of keep the same elevation, but then it slows me down and
Right.
you turn things around. And that could just be my own perfectionism issues. But I think the MySpace days were a little like, I get to know your favorite song.
Yeah. I used to be able to link it.
You got a whole little style and
Yeah.
think that I don't know that emerging technology days. Like I miss it. It feels like because back then we didn't share as much. So what you did share, I felt like had more power, more punch. Like
Yeah.
whoa. So yeah, I think that's my little nostalgia moment.
I
Those
love that.
really amazing.
MySpace, yeah, for sure. It was a simpler time and simpler in the sense that, I don't know, I guess we could be more intentional with some of the things that we were able to, like you said, show our personality with. The pressures of perfection these days can be overwhelming, but I think another thing about our generation is that we're learning how to buy back our time and buy back all the things that we were taught to just do. And we're empowered to just not give too much these days.
Yeah.
Because we've learned so much, and like you said earlier, we've leaned into healing, whether that's through therapy, whether that's increasing our faith, whether that's really being intentional with our vitamins and drinking water and walking and moving our body and just really, reconnecting with our total self and being okay with who we are. I love that about us. And I don't know, I'm just excited about the children we're raising because we're funny and we're multifaceted and my hope is that with everything that we're building, our children can see the legacy and be encouraged to take care of themselves holistically. So we've gotten to the moment where a lot of achieving women often forget to honor themselves. Like you said, perfectionism can also be a veil that covers just the essence and purity of just us being. And we don't often slow down to really just say, hey, I did that. So I always want to take this time to, your words not only will speak to the woman you were when you first became a mother, but it also speaks to the women that are also traversing maybe more challenging times. So what would you say to your younger self that was a new mom? What would you tell her now, something that would make her proud?
First, I think I would comfort her because I remember right after my son having so much guilt, knowing that this should be the happiest time of my life, but I was so sad. Like, dealt with such like baby blues and just trying to figure out what this new life was going to look like with him.
Yeah.
But I think I would first start with comforting myself of saying like, it's okay to feel how you're feeling. You're not crazy for feeling how you're feeling. And then I would share that same, I guess, ability that you have to be ambitious and you do your research and you're going to look up the thing and you're going to figure out the thing. And then next thing you know, you do it. You're going to do that same thing with your son, right? When I realized that I don't have to accept the traditional norms of, they'll just grow out of it or they'll be fine. I resisted any of that advice. And I'm proud of myself for doing it. I'm proud of myself for taking him to evaluations and doing the research and figuring out what are the options. Because if God gave me the tools, the resources, the finances to be able to afford the therapy or whatever it's needed, or even just the know-how to learn, like, there are free programs out there that can assist. I think I just would assure myself that that same ability that you have for everything else, you're going to go even harder for your child. And when you do, you're going to find the program that is designed to help him shine how he shines now. And so I think I would just give myself a peace of mind, because back then I didn't have it. I was so worried. I was so scared. And I think I would also just like say kudos to you. Kudos to you for not listening to anyone around you and instead listening to that mother instinct to tell you when something's not a good fit, when something is a good fit. And if you need to be a helicopter mom for a bit, so be it, because you're going to find the program that is going to give him the support he needs to be the child God has designed him to be. And so I think I would just comfort myself. And that's something I think I'm really proud of. I'm proud of figuring that out and figuring out how to navigate waters that I never experienced, and how to show up for my son in a way that others would not have thought, I would do, right? Because again, that child will grow out of it. That's just everybody like that. It don't matter. It don't matter if it's possible he'll grow out of it, but I'm gonna make him grow out of it quicker. I'm sorry. I'm gonna give him the tools and resources to give him the help he needs to get there at a faster pace, because I don't want my child struggling unnecessarily. So those are the flowers that I will provide to my younger self as a mom. Thank you.
I'm gonna try not to cry as I say this because I understand.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Now you got me going.
no, it's the truth. And the thing about this podcast is that it's real. It's real women doing real things, real mothers advocating for the child that they probably prayed for, went through IVF for, adopted. These are the children that we ask God for. And one thing about being a mother, you said stewardship, is stewarding them. And not letting society or those outside influences influence who we are and who we were called to be for our children. So, yes, girl. Yes. Give yourself those flowers. Mamas who are out there, continue to advocate for your children boldly, unapologetically, because you will see the fruit. Give them the resources and the tools that they need to be who they were created to be, and to thrive, and to just be amazing. So Chanae, thank you again for helping me cry.
It's the truth. And I think that, like, I know I've been talking forever, but that's just this last point. Even in the parts of us that hurt the most, like on the day that my father transitioned, I had an interview with Aubrey to get evaluated to be a part of this program. And it was like my last shot. It kept on being rescheduled. School was about to start very quickly. And I had to muster up the strength to sit through and take him to that evaluation after realizing, like, the person that meant so much to me had left this earth. And I think, back to that moment of how I'm so happy I didn't miss that interview, how I'm so happy I mustered the strength to take him to that appointment, because that appointment got him into the program that he's in now. This program that he's in, like I said, has been so rewarding for him and so good for him. And his teachers are so good to him. And we have none of the issues that we had before. This program has been so life-changing to my child and to us as a unit. The stress that I felt before when he was at his prior daycare, I don't experience that anymore. So all these things to say that even in our darkest time, God still gives you that lifeline. Like, he gives you something. And so just showing up as a mom, even in the moments where you are not, whole or happy, or you're hurting, being able to show up for my son the way I did, like, that is something that I hold on to, but also knowing, like, God showed up for me too in that moment. Yeah. So I'm happy that you even made me reflect on that, because I think I overlook that moment. People talk about a lot of my career accomplishments, my entrepreneurial accomplishments, But I think just even me, just reflecting on the mom that I am, lets me know, like, girl, forget about the other stuff. That's the real prize. Like, that's the real success story, is like what I see God doing in my son's life.
Yes. Amen. 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 Chanae, yeah. Yes, those sacrifices are not for naught. And I'm just grateful for this conversation. I'm grateful for just you just being this wealth of hope, knowledge, and I'm grateful for your obedience and your vulnerability and just you, because just in this conversation, and we definitely need a part two, but just in this conversation, um, I know many people received the confirmations that they needed to hear. And my prayer and hope is that this will continue to be a catalyst for hope and a catalyst for healing, because we're multi passionate and multifaceted, but we also are managing multiple things that can be even challenging, and hardships and loss and grief. And I just want anyone that's listening or watching to know that keep hoping, keep pushing, keep persevering, create that time for rest. And a pivot is not failure. A pivot is essential. And through it all, if God be for you, who could be against you?
Amen.
Chanae Wood, Esquire, this, comma. Where can our audience stay in connection with you? Because, baby, we need to stay connected.
Yeah, and I want to stay connected too. So they can, the first thing I would say, Instagram. I'm pretty active there and give a lot of tips and wellness advice there. So Chanae Levet, that's my first name and then my middle name. And then they can also connect with me on LinkedIn as it relates to, I would say more so what I do for a living in terms of being an attorney. So you connect there. And then anywhere else am I on? Oh, YouTube. I have a talk show as well, All Things. So love, they can tune into that as well. And so those are, I would say, the main platforms where folks can reach me at.
Yes. And one last thing, when is Envision Me?
It's January 23rd to the 25th. It's going to be at the Hilton Aventura. And so we're so excited. It's a full weekend of just a complete transformational experience. And so, and our goodie bags are really good this year. So we got a lot of good stuff in those.
Look, everybody loves a goodie bag. Listen, please, like, invest in propelling the hope and foundation that you're becoming.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
that's it.
so worth it. It's so worth it. It's so worth it to be in community with like-minded individuals that believe in the power of believing in God,
Right.
and that want to live purpose-driven lives. Stay tuned for part two, where Chanae is going to go into more of the wellness and talk about her transformational journey, is what I'm speaking to existence. Blessings, Chanae. Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
so much. And thank you for tuning into another transformational, inspirational episode of Musings of a Geriatric Mama. Listen, please share this with someone else that is in need of reinforcing that it's okay to have different callings on your life, as long as it's in alignment with the will of God for you. Don't give up hope. You can do it. Okay? Share, subscribe, like, download. Until next time, thank you and take care.
Thank you.